o marang moula mayap aungil madangali arngula bela
malungil silsel mora beklade baltogubetsel lungil arngudre lal silsel ngi ongim luror kuduk marcel program regidra amo mesaikel mklol togoim na do abluade diregel lo top daul dasul girel diregel kada labangar ra pesra lo mul ra 2024 ra kotuluror ungil klipsen mo lo riau lungul modol de arngudel girel tel pesra ko padsis bringi yudi bol pomodengel bol taklo sa tel beluada dikesedra rubak el merikita ma adar belau kasail ada ke grel blun di ngar ledel kuk tial blul biskida ruba kam kat mukrengi malungil armud le gungil belu malungil belu meng kado kuk momesra tial merkor ragra 2023 elo aseng raigel kuk ngia maklol toil di lob rabluat makuk kigel wala ring malubeng toil blot albam nem tarab sul el ngaringa kang kestera klengar kita rata pela malt mer nguden nga elal ngaria terur rubal ngartiang el kalngara katruga abadel Arthur Leger el dotangali dakadam langartial program ra angaramong idiri kan katal ngar belau wai sanga kalwaseng namo kode matringe rakal lo maisel merbelau ekir bela mersura sa lusu mo padreng lar belau lo ke la padrel belix mal kadam dang lima atokoil bololo ko ya atokoil ko kia akirela akladr git michael ko kurerel mar alel padrei el ngar belau ma kan buk ngarakat kadik ma ado dang lil kanga tirkel adr belau kdo se le oktamang gegerelat ding namorubak ding na omrelel ra maklol tokoy rebela ngaringi emla momulu ratu apas ngermit emrokor merangal utar ale langirai kalau marubakar oreor SANTY ASANUMA meng aul meng tirgai gide kemil ores kemil masa mertial aldure lang tirga melu selat mesa angkal aramranga asensera school melu selat direkal malo mesa igil erubakar elam mesa igil ku kangestera igil tukoim na tuber belaura tial elal rak ma padrel Artura padrel do ngai ngomesra ara iglesia oreor ma babaldao emrgo tu ada padrel ku kolsis akra igel tokorak lalid mang direklo mesa tial makti ingutial el metiang emrgo di mo olingitra padre mo mul emrgo maya ramranga mo ko kiulel indi kulingitra kemil waseng la mo ada ngatial ledu logo del bung emrgo mga simraulal mo sa piulo de walme mga alwaise kulingitra padre Arthur bon ngaulal ladal. I did not speak English because I had I hope you should understand Palawan, so I don't need to translate. So the floor is yours, Father.
As I look back at 2023 and my 30 years in Palau, I have identified that the positive and the negative is tensions. In the church, there is major tensions here in Palau. Two, between culture and Catholicism. The funerals have brought up this tension time and time again. And as far as my evaluation, culture has won. Catholicism has not really gone into funerals. And so that tension arises, and our response, we haven't responded to that tension. The second tension in the church, which is also in society, is marriage, between cultural marriage and Catholic marriage. Those are tensions that were here in 92, they're here now in Palau. That these tensions are there, and we have not really honestly addressed it. We have just said, okay, let's move along with the funerals. We don't ask the hard questions. And the example is 100, 200 people in the culture, 3 or 4 or 10 at the most in church. That's the tension. So people have decided that culture and funerals are basically what they are. And marriage, this is a big issue for us here, that those ones who have been married in culture or civil, they have sort of decided that they're okay. They don't need to come to church. So that's one big tension that we are facing here in the church. The second tension is basically individualism and community. That, yes, we have churches, we have communities, but really we don't have unity amongst the Catholics on Palau. Each church is unique, individual, but if we say we are the vicariate of Palau, it doesn't mean anything to people. And so that tension between my individual worship and my community worship is also, and that moves also to others. The third tension that we're facing is the modern values and Catholic values. And for example, abortion. It is accepted here in Palau, but Catholic values are not. And so there is a tension between Catholic values and modern values.
And that's true also worldwide.
Yes, worldwide. Yeah. And how do we reconcile it? And that's something that we have to look at and say, okay, these are the modern values. You know, money, self-worth, and then on this side, poverty for the church. How do you reconcile that? And then the next one is, it's church, but it's also the country. I'm calling it sovereignty and dependence. How do you become a sovereign state, or for us, a local church belonging to the universal church? And this tension is there. And the last one is basically, we have a crisis in the church. We have only Ras as the Palauan priest. Hopefully Senge will get ordained, but there's nobody in the pipeline. So for the next 10 years, you'll still have to have foreign priests, and that is a tension.
Yeah.
How do we localize, and like Palau, and how do we sort of work on the foreigners? And it's the same thing, I think, I would call it brain drain in localization. You know, there's 78 Fijians, and so 70 people in Palau from a foreign country, you know, been there, and that's part of it.
So you're saying then that the church, maybe it's like our government. We say we want to be independent, want to be sovereign, we want to run our country ourselves.
Yes.
Now we're turning to a police chief who's foreigners in U.S., and then we have foreigners like in the system, and then we have Fijians now.
Yeah.
Thanks for for at least Pacific Islanders, so we can like you and other Fijians. Did you say that you have 70 some?
Yeah, children and professionals.
Okay.
And so that's a reality. That's a tension. Do you really want to be sovereign?
Okay.
And be local, or forever and ever you'll be dependent on foreigners?
Yes. Father, you have opened this such a wide area, so let's ask Mr. Asanuma to have his say on things that he sees before we go into specifics, because I have a lot of questions.
NGIRMANG will to tau Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and mora aradal guk masilo bangeder el to tau mel alsils tiala mo lobong el sure UDESUALL el 2023.
Yes.
So mga guspe tial egurenga aungil pesarakan marbeklat. Nga ka gukti agida osenge kara klangal dangar alsel. El sektor klangar gida ndiati ku mesra klangar gida adar bela ku mesra gida direct gida ulak al marablul ad. Mlamo blagatak lo asya klangar belau amlamo ngoda. Namo dia kalsebe del madu lo asy angaramo. LEGER rogul toil dorur el alsilsa. Adi ngod raigel kau mga kamlogro alsil. Mundial sebe gelo ngoro angal gek lo asy atar klipse agimil garang emil garang. Malungil toy indi ngire gel mo lo asy aklangar el aldangar alsil ager rogur murtra alsil adi ngoda. Aktimo o ay sirata tol madub al celak langarangak sel den warablika el ang atarra al mada sera auguste ya motarra al mada dalak tial den warangak legal landline se ulum le den agulu den waringi adimle mingil radalak lo den wal mering sera al madra augustra lastir el alsilsa ngala dastara alsela talbu lowring sel denwa mlamo otir nga galwa si aklangar belaw amlamo dia kals edlul tuy raigel ngia amlek tradal ng klalong ang dongun toil dul dengay rangaramong edimol mol melospe misel denwa nga ka ako marangin mga galwa si akla adimo sois para next year emo dia guden mo godir
Magabas kidil was ay kay kidil mla mangod sel kuk tungura January 1st larak ako tubos kila ko talbuil merelang ngraigel tugol kuk mamesel dilu ligel mo lingia o nga siringal tugoy lungil malubang maknitil kang kesera klangar gidil arbela
maisi
ay kagidil mangod lamol koy
ela mga do apadre nga kaguk mo o mesringileng kamatingeng irmang lo segal census a peclaim rak etamaruring sel census ra 2020 alul tabdil el am kada mlamo madangalia census belaw hindi makasayar hindi erung ederak ramla memong el president surang luip sa amalgo seguid el census ra 2015 it was at 12,000 or other belaw kira al sel belaw sel 2020 au ay selo aseng hindi 9,000 ku ngonga sireng sel toy ulak mulgor ka akma mamulgor tagi del toy kawtial mamulgor ase abadre mulgor ase ngire del radar bela mom sisi el digi del mom ngadre dergit en di osisiul timing tagi del rada mo dibus raitel belaw adi algire del asar mudri ngirmang ngatialo babul ngara madagaling ngatigil di mo do lagula babuk nga sensei tial book tiagi del book o ay selwase arad ra 1700s almer 1800 ami luk ragel ngia inaka hagel ngia ma wahon to mam gegrel mi silber ragel maklol match ya rogul adrat 1920 en bloklo omrahel morablu ramrigel tiagidra al ngadi omrahel melmutre al sils mar adr belaw adan alged ma akmil dura abadre keli elbugira blul ab ngatti al belaw rela aku gerikmu ablul ab al adra blul ab tadi kira blul ab ndiak tadi mingim tagel mgere lyun sarablul ab el mingim tel melangalak ra kolonia el milimyak el morablu ramdigel
mablu arugum
mabulabi namo song sara mga umra ngirmang luasi aku umra sel tergibel ngod lo umra nga umra luasi abelaw agire del el molsis barar besla als comunidad sa edrom el yung magredol sis para besela seguida lendal se be del malmol mal develop para blur belau era itisira ablu agirel mo askum ablu mo develop mo ptoar adri
kami tungul mira ay kagid el molgo el tigarat kami tungul mora el arrak el al morgol trum erul buil ngraikel ngiam klol toy ngiam ladu pertial blul domisi affect rak langargid abadre am gol wase ay kagid likel waya kakla ros raul das girela ra sela tial blul malmutra beil matkorak lid michael shargid makose elaw ay gayid igel waya rulim ngarngia agora raureng mata togoil areng lawanail kirel kame do podomes sel cuidia ular mora padre father if you this program will be as Mr. Asanuma said, it's going to be the last program of the year,
Right.
2023. So give us like January 1st, 2023 to today. What are the major events or things that happen, whether good or bad, but you see that are being impacted by the tension you're talking about in the values of the society. How do we, especially like individualism and this, and also this out migration, how does this jibe in the situation of this country?
Well, I think if we have to be honest.
Yes.
Look at the tension and don't run away from the tension. The tension is there, but we need to really look at it. Let me look at the funerals. We need to really look at the pro and the cons of the cultural and say, okay, do we need to change? And change means a lot of things. And so what we need to do is what I call an honest self-reflection, nationally, communally, as a church, and see what is really our goal as a church. What is our goal as a church? And have we really gone through it? So I think that as we look back and look forward, basically, New Year is a time for self-reflection.
Reflection, yes.
And so to do a self-reflection on our individual lives, but also we could do like a framework, an evaluation. Okay, how has the government fared, in these last 3 days? And we just go economic, health, education.
Yes.
And I did that.
Okay.
And so I did all those things for myself and for that. But I think the big key for me is honesty. To be really and really honest and say, okay, this is really what happened to me and happened to the country, and say, okay, that, but being honest, to be honest with facts, don't come with my feelings, don't come with, what I think, but have data to back up what we say about anything, anything.
Oise, kaki del padre ngal mulkol kire lo sengine del mo platak era el mo mulkol amral toy mo mdas amral toy lo se kimot srigid Michael ngaringira bulwad mam Michael batar sul makaw tokol toy sum oklaige melang soak loger way aramrang len aramrang ngaria toy blal kangester ngira el alrak el gumesing intara malklo tutel to go selon dibra arubul belaw maro arbar oreon Michael dasul tilo el morsel gire la akli belaw git Michael el ngia otmela ul de suedar ad belaw makla ad git kita wodel belum nga arubar git gal lo bugod ngaregal druwal adrik na umtiklo sa lagal bol kaso es el adadu el nga uldas ora bekel blur belau el todo legal mo podo tengelo sa igal mondar kita iga klautora ut ma klautora dui ma klauda gablin ma kadim sangura o ya agamaldil iga gidel toil ma gra ma klolo tutel togora klangar kita giredel lo mese mo madangai malek pesca ula era mranglo seka al amdengel wasite gidel el guk togora klobak tel libdul maraklaya amra legal blul ada du mega umdas tegi da imorak a klol toil ngaga umdas wase mungil togoim la du berbelau el trigal mreder gid la koega shugang amla mo mdengel wase tianga klol to ngoi segi del wai tel koring gal padre guk togora iglesia amlo wase ngaringe gid kora cloud to graul dasu ka pom so di segi lo se ti agi del cook area ra Slovak maklebela orgid megal cook mondai megil toim na dubre la rak ngra osengem ligire
sulang irmang ya ak kamanga udu nga kamel bete bakara asa leader ang ira kabo Roman Bedor makasail adal akum dasung makasail adal niya lil asyabu tirigel melu sabu ka ngariar adal melu sabu kul girir hindi nga kita sa edal wasing mladong okle usya akmal klol buk esel gungura waleleng mamalgora tokoy wasya akli bela orgit au tuira erul mal ligel dudul wasing ngarbay rakla ada maklangar ngomungul maumalang mes ayegi de lerul tokoy leng a osye garaigal mondar al chala blur bela uleng mlamoringi ay gagi de lerul tokoy mlamotiak len sebegel diaku ko el ma diaku el maluban sebegel التأقلم أو التأقلم معلوم سبأجل الدم الروضلة معلوم سبأجل أذرع ترى دي أذرع أرايل التمو يقال الميراب لا يدول مقل ملوء العضوي أذرع موضوع بلو للتمانية إتنو بارد ديال أذر بيلاو إملو ملوء لا يقال دول إندي سيجد أجل مجرد نجرد الموت المقاسس أقرأ ذلون لذلين أيجي جدي أملي أولت ديال كليب الأرجيد أملي التلقيت الملا بتقول التلا الراقي كذا ميرينير كذا نارينير العالشيز ندي كذا ملامو بتايجي جد أولين كذا مل أصل دورين سين التملا مقاوتو عردي نرجع أرودوس
واسي
بلا قام مثلاً لين أرادر بلا ديال ديل إيكول leng adalam madalagat odos endisku madalam adilol aluul retial dalang okla enga kadala aklo akmaliu lo asibire ko aku gi omelang mes lo asing nguk masisi ngal adalal lorol girel tel gablil aku kulab le korkaw ekaw aku ogi omul ma lo asin dia omelang mes lo asi beraklo al makpo ay gida amla mo dia kara al set gida al du man gadi mel gola maltet
elang raigel toil ka milesra al sel bel artial mergorak el mo gangster tial molgorngi ela gida kal am ngel wase igel gotel muklo betokol togoim la ngarngi agamel dil
waisi
o el betokar adel gangster ngi ya o ngerunga tora o mangat o gida da so iger rogul da sen social activities in malarat ay gida tablol togoy kamo mesel wase sel mo mesel el arrak ay gida muklo tutel togoil ngaringia abol saskar ngi malubeng mamtar sur ngira ay gel kuk ngia tora o mungul omlang mes may kalmol ko ngi
engirma nga kamla mesa kamaldi rangal ka angwa kamaldi ardadrir el dim lotil mga dradri mga mikra oktamalir
Koy, oy.
Imang also mang si tila kita dupol to era
El arrakal asbedero se ngla koter rakal kotel betok til ay gidel to koy mol gorngi.
tila isel di ndi misosi ak ibelaw. Engel kotel ngarba bla adrak lang argawa oktamlem. Ndi agal damam madagal dalam ngoktamlem. Ak ibelaw rigi. Mga wala kasing akmla mesa ramada karel arrak.
Abtokol teletam na.
Abtokol teletam. Arangal ka. Amla mo mga daredala. Ay gal to. Gida del mal medingel basi. Omngal ka. Hindi ako mga daremra at akamil dilela adalam mandamam. Alba aradamam maldiya. Malbara adalam mengkadirek agiremel. Ilmodong oklim. Ngariya tiyo atong bela lasin. Ngalamek la imam. Matangariya rukmo masabari.
Okay. Father, when you discuss these tensions and the values, you seem to concentrate on the Catholic Church. But Catholic Church it's a major church in Palau, I think, making up over half of the population. But there are also other churches. So I think the role of the church in general, with its Catholic, Protestant, SDA, can you cite, your own experience in Palau in the last 1 year? As to, like, even you don't have to say, like, where you can see, like, this tension or values being, in conflict or surface this year, or what events or what kind of activities in Palau that affect this kind of tension or values that you're talking about.
You're correct. The Catholic Church is just one part of the Palauan society. And so all these tensions is in the society. And so, for example, I worked on the youth policy. The tension between working with the youth and with policy, it took all this year. We really didn't finalize the policy. The tension was, what are we going to do with the youth? Are we going to go government orientation with government money? Will we go with the state? So there was a tension between the state and the government. And basically, the state had its values, the government has its values. And so this tension is still existing today. That between that tension of values, the values that the youth want and what we think is the values. So that was one part of my experience here, that just looking at the youth policy. And that tension exists, and how to look at it. We had consultants from Australia come in, but you talk about youth, nobody really has anything to give. So this is a tension between the national government's perspective, the state's perspective, and we, the NGOs. So who can we contribute? But
you must be happy that at least this year that effort started taking roots.
Yes.
Of getting the policy together. And I think you should be also more happy that this Sylvester Alonso has just been appointed as chief of youth. And then he told the people that he's working, they're finalizing the youth policy, which is good, because I guess if I were to say one of the success of this year is that realization, and also the working, coming up with that. Don't you agree?
But it's still in the office.
Yes.
Until I see youth programs in the States and funded, it's still a figment of the people's imagination.
But so how do you, Mr. Asanuma, you said that this idea of independence and right of everyone to express themselves, to do their own thing. That conflict of the individual right and then the community right, as you said. How do you address that? Because that's, to me, it's so serious a problem, because my grandchildren, when I talk to them, they're hooked to this thing. They just, so I said, hey, I'm talking to you. And they said, no, wait, I'll have to finish my show or something, So, and then like 4 years old, 5 years old, 11 years old, talk back to me. So I'm, I said, should I slap this kid? And because, as you know, before, you're going to have the broom on your back if you do this. How do we deal with this? Because I think this is such a serious problem now.
So the youth is it's a big iceberg. And we're only seeing the very tip of it, but it's a big problem.
And I think this year it surfaced more.
I say.
Than before.
Ndiregal melgonia abadrei NGIRMANG kamama planara Catholic school swigara endra January. Emlamom daselwasi tial Catholic school swiga ngaringia cultural day. Magara omolal mara akli belao ra rangal gerbelao ra sila talsils. Kati ogeri dia kalsebel to.
Kalsebel to boys.
Endi agunda soigal nya mondail adu agire del mut el mosmesel mora walel. Kada mora walel atoe o mesringil. Other belao amle ngaru el social scientist. كديملم جغرت ملوط بركيت الواسي بومل اللاقلا
لاق بوغران
مورين ساتوي نديا استرير على هذا الموضوع راه نلقي الوايسي الاسل مي نلقى الا تيرا قول ساق تيرا ميجنتي مهي ترود الواسي على نلقى اول بلا ناس ابل ليغر تير Al parents akmurang wasen dia kaloreng satigingir.
I see.
Olbon dia kaloreng satigingir al parents. Emgraseng satigingir sensi.
I see.
Metia ngania adeital lo igel olgoringa badri. 10 years igel last 10 years a satten test. Last 10 years igel esel obong aria tul tokora al sel malbodba ra adu rangal kalorengs madu rangal kalomdaso listening skill and thinking skill ayegi del tur asel ay last 10 years ra sat 10 test amaral budulyo
I see.
Melang rangal geta Maringala adoro lobente.
I see. Dia el atilaida con desura clase eglwase el arragen el mut el mamla mo molto. Tiang of course it's been building all these years. Di elang kel amana mo to ko desang. Di ela seguir el al sel to ko se elang ngaram ko mes ngwa do mes tial ngwa mal ngar bula ert e do mes ringin bral bula al mol. Edi sali almol le kadang masal ngrasel kuk tomes se kutubuk magrar elang akum na sa di imol el togoya gire del mo kaso es kakaros el daw rak langar belaw mar masaw daigang matugunian magtaklet wala ba ngara raklisi rablu radia dil tugora iglesia matugora politics matugora government adrigal al adrablu imsada iga turgok lo wasikat magral ndi qasb edlo mesitian do mesitial etel ngasra al mol mtiagida kahalle ku kulngite komlango igid el mora al tapel de adam digu aisrar blu lo sen nganga oba ngada actor PhD ngira subir redel padrei nam subul tru me imrak lar ngna padrei belix la lucia hong elang mulu so ngerulong ngal basado tang lilo se nganga sensera school mulu usul namoto medlu raglo lu usul mora a newspaper or the swell mudam ngali ngara omsao elam na morubak masao dara tora akloba matkora klibela orgit elai tirgai gid ada terurubaga akui amar temlang oigid el morsel ngia garababel toy Wangel adra Egypt black integrity last week el direct ngilegi del moraigel mal ngarbabel tora uldas mring regida kidlo rengsel mal mongil mada maigang me gulengit lo se kal teruruba magmilo se kame kuktungo aldadu el mora kuktara adau rau era gimomola gir amang alube muldasu etiagit kame kukto mes gulngit terkmil teruruba lo se kamo mes lo se ngarai gel togol dilo bertial belu raikal mergol trimerul el buil el kirela maklol togol kirela tora keisai atukura blia bulis atukura ukurul matukura igel ngi ato mes matukura ikal tukura syugang meldin arwa umata igel togol mladu el arrak el ngi ato mes en ngaringia igil togol kumas el gangster ak ngargit ik bedenger adlo o rensause te dir que mil kodira ade durura adrasinar elis arang legeda dir kamlad ngaria bu ngaria akmaldir ngir el alsil suktir kamladra a elis ikuktir el gangster akukko odelela tara tabela ora akuk arra ay kagi del tugoy marad el madr hospital makosem elay kagi del kabom kupaskita aku kul da sul ay kagi del kuk tugoy gangster ak ngargid makablement trigid wasa kirel ke raikel kuktilo father in summary just can you have taken us to a different level of discussion, so I think some of our listeners get lost because these issues are heavy issues that we're discussing. So all I'm asking is, can you give us your own of what happened in the last 1 year, what happened in the big events involving, not only culture and church, but also like economy, hospital, crime, and all these things that impact people's lives.
I'm going to give you another word, that's entitlement. The attitude of entitlement goes from us leaders that we entitle. We got a title, therefore you treat me like this. And the entitlement goes to the ministries. Health, education, justice. People feel that they're entitled. It is my right to go and do this. I mean, PGST, the problem was the feeling, the attitude of entitlement. You're taking away my money, information. So go down from leaders that this attitude is there in the leaders, it's in community, and then right down to your little grandchild. I'm entitled to do with this. And so this disease has crept in the last year here, that at all levels, you will see people will complain, but below that is this thing that I'm calling entitlement. And that is the opposite, unfortunately, to the traditional leadership. Entitlement is not part of traditional leadership. It's service. It's service to the people. And so this trend has come down. And so in every aspect of our life here in Palau, even the church, they're entitled to go to Mass. I mean, they want us to celebrate Mass. Entitled, we have to have Mass. But
Okay.
So that word for me is part of our collective problem, that we feel we have the right, and you have to deliver.
But in our culture, that's very basic. People are entitled to protection of the chiefs, to the chiefs feeding us when we're hungry, to the chiefs paying our debts, or when we get into trouble, they save us. We're entitled, the chiefs, to do that. But also the chiefs are entitled to order us to do things for them and to get to work in the community, to defend in wars and stuff like that. So to me, it's a kind of, basic. Okay? People are loyal to work in the public project in the village or to defend the village, to listen and follow the orders of the chiefs. But the chiefs, but they are entitled to protection from the chief, to the food from the chief.
That's in theory.
Yeah.
The context today is so different.
Yeah.
You have the money. You're talking about before, where I give you the thing. But now, with the money economy, there's no reciprocal obligation. And that's the problem. Everything is founded now on money. And that's the tension. It's okay. I mean, that's all universal, that principle of reciprocity. But this entitlement has changed the form because you now have a state. You don't have a traditional system. You have a money economy. So it is true, but I think because of the changing times, that entitlement, both the duty, is lost. I mean, that's Fiji is the same.
Okay.
But do the chiefs accumulate and share, or do they accumulate just for their family?
Kahal kuidi telu lao le koraka ramrang emroko guk gerka kamua ulgungem el adra ulao al filosofere o se la school em luslat el guk mere guk lega partragablemente el guk pesquida ul suemo se igal godalem la dubra al selbelaur el arra a godal adra sina man lambataat ma godal belau mar al galbus el amis mar galbus el madar se galbus ma igal btogol el mercedes el togoim la dubra tial blu elisabeth dia mo umrar ngal wase tia fundación la 2023 la do amo history belau al disiar adam la madlo ya amrigel godal ma maknitel gar igal a mostend out el kotel maknitel el ragrab lur belau e direg ma atugora waya atugora hospital al disiar adam la mad ma godal direg questionable ma adiaga garma adiaga toktam amlar tokol adara ngodel lul mem kose gaigid el toy eguk direg guk ngara school ngari ab esul national education department museum la wil direg guk to mesra school guk direg ngaringia ungil ka do mesa private school belar lang las vedro sing mal ungil mrala ka private school otra catholic church schools ma STA ngani gid maka di beskida perspective gaul sel mo mesra ka gid el tol do ma to rases el direk nam grok ma tol muangra osngembra
Usulang irmang ko amal beto igal toy mo to kaso adam loin di bodik ngilta di makasaringi tora godal albebi ratta mi kal amor men srar adlom godol nga kalwasi ambassador nga ka 20 sira 2003 etengil el tagal mo public ambassador sugal ara dimrul masaudar tial sugal among ta wase bere tingi kaul mo masaudring seguida ragra 20 el melmutre el ang irmang etengil bati sel gora sel tayongi sel time ngarin sel restaurant del ngartel bitara tel PNCC tel obisa PNCC ngara bitara post office mlari seguida ngaran klel cinema ngaran klel sele on komen seguida le restaurant del libre da seguida e kadangari o mesra tel madala mutlo olvira glula en do or seguida el sign seguida el tayongil sel dermostat el all tradisira adal sugar al sel ablur belau el al sel sengirman ulak malalitiyang ang akul mesa sel el presidential declaration 58.2 ra adalta ra maklol adar belaw am asukal malubet tam asukal se di mesa ra deita ingiril di kay makmadar adar belaw ra bekilsins le omam sukal eng mo kadong abep patengel harakta maalit tula patengem hindi kal maasarugul wasin ngaramang tamadar adar belaw kita tial ngar tiang ngari akmed ngar email telael adra ngodol blu edi kal kay makmat mang akmo gukmo imura tokora dalom ma tokora sesum omenged aklin siya ngeng oli ko ngaduba karamal gyo ka bonika adra UN amle interview ringi el wasi kami adra belaw trial adra FAO sing food and Ngaraklel administration sing masada tora kala mang tulgering amle ngeringil oli ko nga si we are not farmers and fishermen. We are lovers. Tiang milu semlo ratia belaw maulak. Ak iliwi ratia belaw. Ak koramal mlo koratop da ari tial garuba lo asen garuba kan gor usogola. Hindi elal seguidrak iwi ser al amlu apotokra lu ragram la memom. El asel gumes tial wasengra ula matokra ser semator omngeda dial se elmo. Masisi il tokora klangar gid malubun tokora omngargira adar belaw. Akora mom tabsel da ala oli gong wasi. Kita diakada urol war adra sinal klangar tir makla adar tir abekil sils. Malub gadwar adra huriping ngar omngedra abekil sils. Aigal mora tokora aser sigita akora kadora dimlo milil weekend. Elmlom kadwa don mi ataltu tal bobay ebukme. Hindi ka ligal uror abekil sils obigi sira amo adra tutta morori longol tiasils ebora klugu kumangya sel malmol banil tarak
kamo ke di aladuros ngara ko atol ko am ladubre la rakal ko kan kesira to rases mo mnged ako mesa ka ko ke dengel wase la atara ako kura ungil toil selo bisa ses ngar esar ma nekinga adrel domestingin ngomro rela
ela lagi de ngirmang aurere la kabelment merul el wase magara alola ba adallom lama anges lo mestira mendim agidel digidel belu agida del mora kabelment ndia dong era di wase ndia ka akalma أولا غالين سال تقول ديرك من الطوب دلوقتي أغلى عن غير مكمل وليت دلوقتي غالين هذا لو غير غالس أي غالين يسوق هذا ماركير أي قالوا لا بقبل منت هذا الجيل المراي لو سيجر غاو نقا جيل من المراي المير قبل منت لو جيل واسي نرى سبع لا قبل منت المسوقاري يجي كده قوم داس
nakamadagel wasing sel de boda da kabelment na wa elarrak en lasab edel wasing sel domestringi na dubal toil dal amoltel ma ngarapal ngela plur oror a post office na mobes dia kora trail kora masatra igor ka malubak kan di kwase nasab edel wase kadi domesa ka lobisa kabelment ro kul wase ngararangia amla maloso mal asel sel ngare el building el mukporu el kulmu ringira at ay right ya le kara Red Cross el kumesing moral me ng asel no sel do mesen miliwek bela ngla sub edel likam era of course hospital al tamla mostatu renovate ringi hindi kuksel mondara karma at toktanga ma ikanga equipment al adir ma maral ngaring ya uldasul gel say ma bes hospital adi kulkoring ya kwasen ka ngarabay bir na gel toil ka ko o mesel dilo brelarra ratial kabelment kita
dia me bay agot sel tora post office katangal tangat el mlani udodra di OI الجيل القط مقليس الورور ما تقطع المذي اللي post office ترى تقول ملو مؤي ترسيرا 1994 كده دي ملو رأي من أكثر بوك سنتور من ديرك اللي ملاقو دون لها post office ملمو ترسيرا أرتيال ذو آل ترسيرا 2021 بتوقع كده دي ملاقو دون الواسين ملانيا أمسوديل تيال post office إندي كورا كغير تقول مملو ديال مغت موكلا لا 1994 من بتوقع بيبير أورول كده المو مغت موكريني ما قولين تلواسين مغاني أقطع توكسيو إذا لا مغو مغايل المساعدة أوريريل مال بتوقع كده المو مغت موكريني إندي أقلموت الغورا بايمو دولة تقول واسيسل غانيا ترى بتوقع كده لو مغضول المرغمام مالو بتا تو إيميل المرغمام لو كده واسي post office ملا PTST ديا post office هذا قالوا لا PTST post office هذه process راكلال يا أدرى قستوما عملا PTST سيدا كده السمودير الأدرى بلوم دي نغا يلقوا تورا post office بوليت ولا سبلتلا توكسو ده
دي قال كونغي كملا منشن نيل واسي تيجي PTST تيجي تورا تاكس تيجي الأقوت كلو رينج النادو برا أدرى بلاو رايكال مركور راكس أدقوت المويلك مريلان Raika ludo el tax mla mangara ipingar ade tax raral madengi ma tax nuclear adol sis nuclear badengir maigel akundas ma tax rawakal ma aigel dimla tax rangaramo ngudala kongel wasitiai da imol ringel imladu por el 2023 lengil el mlorur tialla etialla aradangar obisari reli mengekirtian nama badengir sing mal betokater melela marserni tigi de gukmud urngir elang memberkuas tim la mukluror ikida ada belamo o gerringi di ukta sogal mo radi adibeter qawl gire segi de gukla mo defendra adru lera qablement di segi da tangam kame gukta pora sel guk to mesra wayat por hospital ese lo singe bringi ka dire guk ngara training gara to ra guru ngara o singe bringi lo sing ngaringa ka klotol dilo hospital tiam berkorra engkang kestir raklangar ada belang
hospital maklol toy odomesingi NGIRMANG en malgré del mo qataqay ngasho rogul imol belul ngatmokri le ngayel gulgol wasi ara adar bela dismer man gere del gut maklo hospital ako mes mal betoka igagida le egorang esora merigel gul mergida igagida le tial dial le ngartiang ma direk Taiwan man direk lo ngergid ma siaban
endi ngargera ta talma mars tiang leng aktif mo gergal wasi tiang raktaat radaluror malueng rakter atura udod mai kale kautel mulgo emral to mal to udod na me mangsen mam para mo wai settle
ndia nsel rungud ser rengergid lwaseng moringi aklisi el rungud mabla rengergid lwaseng kadamru rawrere ngaka ukti adra abae malubak adra adengi ak adra sers edinga galol ngas rawrerek mang elag melgora post office ngaga di ngagal morse di ngagal mga dur ngagalo ngas le adin tarigel togol ulgor ngaga da magalwas ada adin di gid lol tarawr gid
mengraktaat
ngira
ada loror
ngira del mobla garud merul tel uror le tiamoklun
wais okay da era algo sempre con kukti de bora apadre Ebadre kam koramo to siaul the swim. Can you offer your piece as to what we have discussed in terms of functions and activities and action of the community or in the government, things to that we can base on our experience this year for happen looking into 2024.
I repeat, be honest with ourselves and ask the critical questions, because I don't think people have got the ability to ask critical questions, the hard questions.
Okay. So let me translate that to your organization. You both are active in the church. Can that, be done if our church is totally, is highly controlled? It's like a communist party, controlled, central control. If there's no discussion in the church, like the members of the church administration of the church, if we feel that that's your problem, only you, the priest, you run the show, you lecture on us, which is necessary every Sunday, and we come to you to advise. But when it comes to the church, it's controlled by Rome, and controlled from Chuk now, and controlled from that's.
That's your perspective.
It's not a conflict.
That's not the reality of the church today.
Okay.
Because we have had a 3-year process called the Synod on Synodality, and we are asking the hard questions. The Pope is asking us to ask the hard questions. Like, the hard question is, should women become priests? That's up for discussion now. LGBTQ, that's the hard question. We're asking it in church. So we have decided, and the Pope Francis has decided, it's time now to look at reality and ask the hard questions. And where can we serve? So it's a 4-year process of synod. So those days of the church controls everything might be people's perspective. And we've been doing sessions asking the people here in Palau to come to the sessions and ask us the questions, because we have different models of the church. This model is the social model. So basically, you ask us, we ask you about the hard questions, and so that's basically.
But shouldn't be more discussions or conversations between the church choirs and the priest, you who run the show, the church? Because, it looks like what we have with the Congress. We just see them, watch them in the television, they discuss. And then there's no discussion with the local people, with the people, the communities, So I'm asking because I got to choose. I like to participate in the discussion, but you're telling me things that for the first time, how come I got to choose every Sunday, and sometimes I talk to you and the other priest, and then I talk to him almost every other day? I never heard of this.
Well, we acknowledge that basically we need to restructure. And unless we restructure the whole hierarchical church, discussions will not be made. And so this word synod is basically the key, is that everybody has discussion, and yes, and the normal, we take it up, and then according to law and other tradition, we decide on it. But this discussion, like I'm saying now, to Catholics or non-Catholics, when we advertise the synod, come to it, because you can ask me questions and I can give you answers, or I can ask you questions about, the different thing. Like, my question is the present government ethical? And so they can ask me, is the church ethical? But I think this open dialogue is stuck because of the structure. And so what this synod is trying to do is restructure it so that they use the model or symbol of tent. You come into the tent, you ask us questions, and we ask you questions, but it's reciprocal.
But some say we come to the tent, people in power like you in the church, your head stuck the tent, and then you cannot see below.
Well, that's it. Unless we restructure, we can't do it.
Yeah.
It needs to be invited to the next synod meeting.
Makala po was gumesra ka kamalul ko abtogul ko hindi kami kadra kapalmentre lang abentri aruba which is malu ungira kuktru lemre lang kau timo ai se lo se mela tial gamal gol wase tial tletar omrul ma alat el ngaringi lu ulma ngari ya gid problem ela wada kadam last tagar tiam gid restructure mai se ya se alda dalang kam kaguk metungul makablement wase kam la senator em lam lu sab togol kire la politics makablement el al kuk merragal 2024 Ndi qabla bol time kuk to mesra o tamela la rigid edu restructure tel government rigid ay kan mergol lo de rag dam tikal wase mal toga igel la gida ulo mebel part tel government la oy sektit na mo gire de telgibel mo kuk restructure wai tel to ra iglesia kal to gol go eso es
I say ngirmang tel molgoria adiagal BS el toy ang كده دي من الغرق التغطية قبل من ترجيد كذب مال مسماريار مقدر تلقى تيجي مال يوم مقصيرة قبل من ترامريجيل هيجي التيال مقدر رنجي لو هسه كذا مقرا دول سيسبا أكلي بيلار جيد مقلوبا مقرا العالسيل يا أترى تقول جيد الملور أسكورا عبارة عمله مرقو أمداس وسيا بيلا دي ملاقا دي مقراسيري أبيلا رو إرمي إكنا بارد نغرا دي مقراسيري ngaria representative government trabai ndia kangi dil adra bela ul dimla ngar ula rangla malu ben ngaringi atigingel legi de rogul di ngaria atigel mora ay gagi de klibillet etirgel tul klibillet amatigel lomte ergi del mora bai
waise
man kadidi lu tel government ergi del me mo motmaut lol tirak rablu amerigel marngalargit ay gal state government ngirmanga kadidi BS el malgol waigel wase let's be honest ay gangaria klor lil moraklangar ar adal tia kira igal state alubang diregal mlamo ula diregal barraud klangar igal state
eudo dam la so Israel selmo
eudo da dimral mo betok man ngira del mongil adu ulwasi tial bilas tial molgoril bilas ng ertel اللي ضوبا المرأة البذولة إيلويل على مولا انتا مستغري تيا ملغورة تغورة قبل من تنجرمان نغو مرأة الواسي مال بطوغة عملات تيال قبل من الترغوت كلو الإكسبنسر جيد الآ نغا بوست أوفيس أسيغل دي سوبدال واسي أقملا مو كنترول ألو لسه ترى يتلل أوضو إلا غلموت الغدلموت الموتاتشني نقعد تريب الوضع أوضو سوغر سيجد الوضو سوغر واسي تيال بيتشي استيال مكنيت بريسيدنت كوني هو أمضليل ترى مسيسي الأدرسيو باي نجات تلت كاغرا 1998 المورا سيجد التاسك فورس المومولود ارتيال التاكسر بيلا والمرتيا جدل سرتام غدوم سيفات لين عمرانية أقوم غدوم أقلم صادرة التيا جدل سيل تاكسر عن ما تاكسر الآن على أدر بيلا ملهارا التاكسر أي إيسويس دي ملاق ميسان إندي إلا تمداس وستيال 10% تاكلو أختيمو موريسي موريا ترى توكسيو إغدو مرتيمو أدو أوريلين أقصى الموديبيت نقمر أذلهم الملغول واسي تيال بيتي استيا كلود تاكسريني راسل جي ارتي نديق الوايسي
اوكي ماذا الوايسي مسولان باسي أقامر لدو كدم لانغون ممليوي كرن ايان ممليوي كرن ايان المي سيلو بنتريتي قال أدرا ولداسو أدرا ولا إن وايسي مال مكلو ما بيجري هذه مداغم بالتال تايم مرقود واسيم المد وكانيا أدرا سؤال كوكو تبدا ولداسو راول تسوي تيال مرقود راق سيتيان وانغران وكراول تسوي الآن ميراق مالو بدو كأسكر كماملو
وايسي
Caller on the air.
Hoy manuit tutau le kor komi abra we radio happy new year le kor komi do kui maluit tutau barang irmang mawas malungi la toksyo happy new year irmang kau mengil aruba ka kurang singi mga adu ro tetere la tensi abra merigela ultimo was light termalo arai tuela berudak musu vertial berulak tabai tersuba beto, MS beto, dia kabol tuak rak mungger. Isin dengan aset kian belum ada dorula toy, kata belum almost tuak. Giri dan morane neve mergo tuak, mergo sifat typhoon na belingat ngawa. Omram dengan likian guru. Mering dengan irma ulak mergo teloksil. Silang government yang mering la sawa ba to government tuang il aruba ka el general post office. Mering la lo sawa sila government. Baik ma maranga kira ko tiagi de chet terbaik ngai sila government temlu ini. Baik omesa sila government terwasi. Ulubong ra mangmal happy new year ma president ma vice president ma president trasenet ma speaker house marubul belau mar sil belau. Especially bedul maraklay may bedul ay abilong ma ay reply dire mo igara buhay desel ba mesa secretary na public safety na minister ba welel yung irma namo giren mo merek dengan yak klisi ng constitution sumun dia kalbay mo mura petition no ngil welel dekyal lagara na mo ngil abulur wela public safety dire kata da rumra silbel mirela bang meringal omoger ngil aruba ka dengan arsel kabelben di kama maway nga arsel bagi om sestia e dire kan mo lagi William ngil albastor ngatila dia alborra ng travel na mal blagatak ko sa sil ora la time me yarang LEGER o yang lo sa tigides e gi langara New Testament bas mangyar ko abulu na ay Jesus sa ulong lang o gi New Testament bera dio me sebulayang ni ro ko tol mo rubra el almera kan mo ang arayang adan me metenga dan baku ay silmi kanya tukara solar batukara asaigal astro saigal bara miliyon beto ka happening na mo satellite kuma isedo ka sen flare rasil se mo affect travel la future la di beta wala na iya sa kalkamen temal happy new year or ka pamilya ka apa kau ma ngirma may ilang ma-next next year.
Oi, mal masaul bagay mutul dingwa imora. A comment one more and then
Caller on the air.
Maluwit tutal ya kora ani mga mayangi ang kay aruba kami ko sa ma belaw nganya ako di mo dula imol former senator mo se abela dal ko ni aja ruba ni ma mesti ruba nganya tinggal bela mo se rak talit malgubon rak toklat ma ay gali ko pur makroba marungo akwol yang mering labal sela dal dak ay kita dia kadralla ako di mataklala dogi ngile kita ngara konstitusion meng selo tel konstitusion dulu seria ngara sel kaya gili ya to mesa konstitusion yang menghitar ngu kita dal ngarang kita ada beda adi merula sel kila omang nda dulu wai sel mulgornya ngila rubal nda do siobal nda dulu lam kurses kado kwadi girel omang ma musikida to miskim mal poter gida ada belau aro omang tel asum angari tigit PGST den ngal ngarang asalari adilo langas rawgeria udira adra kabelmen yar old age ako dia ka tereng sa isela angari ya ududir meng old age ako uspe akar ngerakar akal bakot old age uspe akal tau era buloli mertial kalom kara serela batel aja gida ditung lengjal ngarang kata ukio konstitusional gid leto mes ra president tergida adar belau angkale ngagide surangol malungil long ter belau ma aurelela awil rul kado amal matergi ndigel bibiro omrelel tial omrelel tial kampak aktimal magiging aktial di man kampak tam tial iker tial yang ang nuclear nguram lo ko ngese ngul du pa sigil likra nuclear kampak ta ako adi ndim lang lo oti masi ngaringiya al minister belau lom ter belau nga senator ma delegate marugul belau ma masil belau ngora dia kalau oti segidel along do mal bertak masya ko tara dia kalau oti segid masya ko tara ngora mal araba ba dia ngoti klizareng kita ada agire mo sigra malom sel el dia al ngulul dasu mo sigra ardu nul dasu ning do mesing ay kita el moder actimal nga kadio do la ba gil do dikmung makamul kaulo rengs armen sa gagi de mo mateng edigaul masa otagaw den dial ngarang sige tel malel belau maktimal mo gigi ko mal musulang eden kiubay poloise
mal masaul tirgel kuk malgada do me embrgo kida o legedra mo ngsimrti al program regidem digo com clat closa toil nia do sadre lang emlaul daswa a klol tutelela teigidel mi mokl blu a girel blaqtak laul daswa adra blu lotob e girel adlo la bangra maklisi a girel lo olta gal toil rul lo sengrat mrul gidet emrgonge ais ergidem gadmo mdenge ko tob dal shu del girel الألميرا كذا البانرا أسنكيو من أول من كلوب تطلع هذا مش رايك تيال مرقورات وسنكو رايك النيا هذا مش ملكت موك لون التقوي مولدو المرمول ما يجيل كوك تو مش متاع الرسول من جيرد بالقطاق مونج مرا بوينت الواشل تقولن قال مريد البوليس بس السكوم necessary دلوسا بيتيشن لبودا do marcha mor olvira aklulaw malu do bisa presidente lo asim stop pertian da kasi emreda al bulis lo isel ngara brigel ngaw grule wa isel disela akodal belaw michael talamal na mode kasi edel mol mertian adi aklol tutel tuasi bodo do todo do suede bod ada do girel kidar blu lagda relak constitution am gol basi kaw ngari allam tem el mom ngeli aqal mentrqaw emo todo do girel lo democramo credibel el musa bavier emo mestigal mutakled el gut mokla gal mondara bluadlen gedra gongel wasea aikel nadu portel blur belau especially atgora adal ngreng matgora ugrun maiga dirga gal du telmal ra klader git mega mal dingu tial el nombre que el godella adrasinar elis last week magarang adara ngo bulu soisa bulu de mogodira adri mo itira oreom le sosabi kemil maklol ade bas maga adar belal adrika katal le sangaga 74 years old adrika katal gisa oisil delgreng del torang bar da waseng heinous crime mladu emrgong edub etal sunday idaglo otil daglo waisar bulu waseng ngarangani tikal ke ngal adar multra bulum lam godira adri sosbi ngarangani lom klat kergit elo oti akle waseng ngara adilub et ankla wat amru legal dal ngareng emel mutre al sils itirgel adar al de godanga sitam arrest ni se ongadulura to sendirgal arrest tir el gotanga kera bli maigate di mangartiar bulis ngara magral waisel editil tanga ada mistrin ngarsi etam lamo modang tri malgot mangartira baba apply keringi magraba eblu waise ar adar bela ramramo relang ai gati amal klolo brau del tom la dub medngu tial mo mesringil mo ol hotela o asengire del magis gut maklia tial om redra bla bolis mo tutela la amo de gasel waise ay kaltugol do rule maklangar gida adi kal tutela sukum malla awaisil talmal jamo tauta er ada amlama da mar ada kdamadak til al marar tial blu من كيرل مقت مقلتيان أو أول مقلوب تتلل ngarinya omsau del watiang rata watia gil teal tiga kita ada ngartial kuko ol tauldas magda kede batai mereka ngasim mang kedi mai gal luldasul mal yotob malolengitra aldu wai kama sangkal badrelu aisos seguir la tanamo mrura iglesia católica tara gotel plaktak lo omredringin ngarpa medio elati ka ito simlak mlamu grel atatu ilmo mesaikal direk mo molot aike makti mo ngutial mirelang bukum sapadre ate al el kuk mokmu igel kuk the sweno tasel madumon. Father, you have a chance to kind of summarize your comments and what you think should be done as we move forward.
My word is hope. I think as we look to 2024, for us to be hopeful and don't come into the new year with the past, yes, with experience of the past, but as we look towards 2024, for us to hope, especially hope in our young people, the hope that the young people can help us, and also hope in the process of the elections, that out of that process. But I think that virtue of hope is what we need as we move into the new year.
Kabo bas kabo mdu klam emling klam na tol toy mring toy mang kamkora medesil somos milo sa kirelger.
Msulang irmang awera poko lugo igel lulo tinge akti sokal di magtaklira golelo ase a presidenta dimlagal ngea nuclear el maradao ndimlo gonger selul dasul mla gonger ngia UN sel al adra UN el gilngera siabal abela de qaklisi el mangi di blul adel gongera ngi di blul adel momoita a nuclear ngira laglogia segidal ngera al adra UN ya ongerunga al togoy lolgoria direkal abela magtatal nga qabel mentil do dolget ringi mutto atito al teletelel at 2010 President Johnson amlora Hawaii esaing ra sel babiera ayagi del renewal ra compact dalim la kalobengela ang idil taang ya 2018 ya minister elbu amlora ayagi del Hawaii edirkel saing ra documental el gongea aigel bebira atlantinge la compact mang leng atitwala aldu ma time mendimla magigidi agirir mrul al other administration executive en malodar selmera olvira glula sabe elwasi ndia ga timam mendia laboring agigida sabe el teleta el ma process el dogiungi gutmokla magtata qabel men tergid mang betoga atitwala akmodel wasya ngalamo dia almudung arugul togol marabek laad mo dia do ngey indi seguida teleta el dos peni akmora ulabong el datage ngirmang ya sogal mul wasya akli sitial liga gid el article nga garsera el November el wasya klangarse lora el mo badulu en ndiregal marail mo wal bolo butka awlak mulgol waisea asesera angaramo kadamle atak bitokol ad kada ongal matulungal el mogobli letmag mrula toy indi tial klangar gidre asel lorail ma sohi sabra ikla barda ya gumeser gideng marail mol ada di marail mo al delir ada di marail mo gegri ada di marail mol di omesa gelnia di mora bedingirma ada mer tegitsel mol goringi ngirmangal tora aikna bar de blada subil melwase individualism letiang autuira klol to autuira omngarke raudo marada mobil oil gergik gukti omesa aigelnia amalut kertirma akukti klangartirma arangalgir mang diregal mo madang lilwa ya tiat klangar se loral mo modern en maral mo mring la aral ndia gangi dil klangar malubang klaad tel blulad el maral mo modern ya aral amral morio aral tial klangal dangar alsel maklad al dangari adi maral morbab agul tabdira Facebook ra eli lol telwase a domes ara la klalo ra blura merigel en mlama direk mas el 208% ara la klalo metial ara la klalo mas ara al sela blur belau adiagal belau blul other rogir adi selia gumesin lo asin kada makarang en sebe del mo so del modwosba ngani ato ngirmang lo ase al adra siaba lo ase kada mo setchuyak kada mo cancer ayero gul luspa led abodo ngasadala le kada ngara mring el time ngaga amelgo ikang endi ngwayel olgo padre Arthur agu mara lo ase there is hope ngire del mring el auror mingitu grablur belau los ikrolele arngalget amowil aklang artil nga alselti alblur belau enga kamalu mara lo ase ndi ke sabe del gut makli segi del toy agot egadul tuira rubak al dios ya ongerum egadmo la babla garren la togora urior el mingitu emngado ura beloadal el mosois bra alsela 2014 seguida agora meset changal morgidro
Oi. Sula base mrgo ya era bodo simre ek mutalte alek shotar gau ek kumdar gau mengal badrel Arthur el mira a ondibra kamamra uksel klibilam ramel geo era moringira ngat mudur ela 1 o'clock mo 5 o'clock ngaringa tar kamamel ririda gimlal mutan matigarangi kada saul bena sakumal kinam tigarangi emlamei emlamei eokaar kil ko tuklul adar kamam rokui magi kura mo mesringira ilal odo song magi sotara mam num sidngar oror magi bebel kaso es mangamal gok me kukte sangkal targi del kuk diri kinam tigarangi el mutul moraw kurul tarablura next week ang lamo de kimesang mosmer kukim bay wala bolka bolser ki momolare patingin me ki moldil bay lagi mesang material trial kuk maklon masal kamamel el dimnos il adan mel mutra el angol el almerragan di kumesting la el almerragan la mo lubong retir ki direk mo mesese mo kaso sa dolongalam direk mo katakla kikil tukora dolongalam klot tutelel el bukel kat mok le kain seurgi o mes el gup moso isbra ab esrak mang kumal masaule tial al dadu a gida del malmol mringi makan mo malmol merti al dadu ra ilal mer el program ra sual ongi mluror tri mo da kasil lo den wal me mo se el mo den wal me emrgo es el programa mo telgibul ngod atletelel aquí mo aisra teteler del programa lo hacemos ki chance te al mongaria te ngwa simra olel se lo mo emrugo se lo bon la ki mo aisa gel dice la bluma ko de sweeter adel lokya ko mal masaul no se det mak e malungil pesara gal morara adar rogui e medo bodo tolisi edom katak la gel toil el ngia igel do mes mo temela klebela orgida ra omlang mes o klitar reng ma omungul ma do reng ay igel toil el podul tuire e boda ay nga sel kut maklitel blode nga bibir bela amdas wase ngari atu utrak mana se kadio mesra tapti la garbo da mo mesra tula igel to da mil mak tio ay se mil wase ngak agotel ke didar ngul adar belau eso al ada bela amdas wase kida blebela ali metiang ngaringia angar ale tel blulat ilku ko otil mura blulat do ka syuga rekit ma atletel la okregit akmal mo merenga sulela abadrel Arthur ma garruba ka bas ramrang di ku aisra abadrel Arthur wase I'm a traditional chief in Patalo chief. In my village, Abdalo West, in Malgaw, I'm number 10. In Angkor, I'm number 5. In ang SRM number 5 and then the 2 villages and then number 3 in 1. So I'm gonna exercise my authority to confer you a title, traditional title. And since you have a 78 or 70 some Fijians, I'm going to anoint you as the chief of the Fijians in Palau. But no, I must also say I thank you for taking time from your life to come to Palau with us. You've done things that, we're so grateful. We like to have Palauan priest. But unfortunately, we are in a circumstance that this Santi was supposed to be a priest and he didn't come. So end up. Thank you very much, and also I'd like to thank your people. I mean, it's. I think you're the. I think next to Filipinos or next to Bangladesh, you're the biggest. And then you live with us and you do critical work with us. Especially now, I hear that there's Fijians now helping taking care of our elders, which is really great because you're islander like us. So we're grateful, and I think Mr. Asanuma, I think we have no choice but have more people here, and many of our kids people are immigrating overseas. So I think it's only fair that we share this land, these islands with other people because we don't have enough people. So we thank you, and we hope that what you have discussed with us, the things we can continue to be involved in this conversation. So when you have opportunity, at least at this occasion, that you can speak out publicly, on things that are important to us. Yes. Thank you very much. Malmasaw lepas.
Eo marang moula mayop au ngil madangali arngul belau ise yaul akmul mogo